My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. Not really. Yeah. I said welcome to the podcast, welcome to the pod. Episode 86. And I'm already failing. It's like, nah, I be winning, but I do be procrastinating. Yo, you can tell shit be off the top. I be struggling. Yeah, Grammy Salazar on the beat, you already know. Welcome to the third pod. Yes. I am your host, DAPHYA, and this time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close my camera app so you don't see me looking at myself, because I, just like I said I was gonna be doing it, I was doing it. I be doing it and doing it and doing it well. I'm still looking at myself. Close it. Stop it, girl. Just close. I don't know how. Can I? Will it keep recording? We're about. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I minimized it. You saw how that cut off? It stops recording. Now we know. See, it's called a learning process. It's called process of elimination, a learning curve, learning on the job. That's what we just did. And I was about to start over and just record the pod from the beginning. And I was like, nah, just edit it so they know that shit went left. Because that's the only way we learn in life. And I'm here to drop gems and give lessons. You feel me? I hope so. But yeah, welcome to the third pod. Like I said, my name is DAPHYA. I'm your host, and this is episode 86. And last week got a little overly political. It was just so much change after Trump's inauguration that I didn't even talk about everything that I wanted to talk about. But I ran out of time in my mind. Obviously, I could go on forever here, but it's just, there's so much going on. You really just got to pay attention and, do your due diligence and whatnot. I don't want to get swept away. I will touch up maybe on a couple major things, but even that, it's like everything he's doing is major. I mean, it's the whole country. He's responsible for the entire country. And I don't know why they always call the presidents of the United States the leaders of the free world, because essentially they're responsible for the whole world. And that does make sense because he cut off something called USA aid, that provides aid to foreign countries and helps out, like a good neighbor. USA is there, but not anymore. Not with Trump. He said fuck that. So yeah, there's a lot behind that. It's one of the main things about that for me is that he cut off funding to pregnant women receiving HIV treatments in Africa. And like, you can't just think of the action in one swoop. You have to think of the effects. So most likely these children will also have HIV AIDS. That is an incurable disease that will be spread. If they don't have access to medicine, they'll just die. And it's really sad to think about. So I have been overwhelmed with the political stuff, and I even wrote a little verse. I put it just yesterday as a short. I had posted it on my Instagram over the weekend, but it was about just the current state of what was going on, and then like 50,000 other things happened as soon as I posted the verse. I'm like, this ain't going to end. Like 2 weeks, and we got his whole like terms worth of changes, I feel like, which to MAGA is phenomenal. They're like, yeah, he's doing all the stuff. And then we're like, oh my God, he's really doing all the stuff. The people who care about people or whatever. But let me not say that. All right. Don't get mad at me. But I feel like I do care about people, and it's a little bit mean. You don't want to give the people medicine. And literally somebody broke down the math. So the fund for US aid is like 38. I don't know if it's probably billion. But if you divide that amongst all the people who pay taxes in the United States of America, it comes out to $50 a month. So we don't want to pay $50 a month to help people and to also make our country look good, because we're team players and we help people. Like, think of it if it was, your own business. You would be held at a higher regard if you were helping up and coming, people in your field or whatnot. I mean, that's the way we think in music anyway, but I guess it doesn't apply to governments, and I'm not even gonna go any further with that. But yes, if you haven't peeped my verse, should I put it here? This is my podcast. I'm gonna put it here. I'm going to edit in my verse right now so you can hear it. You already heard what I had to say. If you watch my podcast for the first week of season 7 last week, then you already kind of know where my stance is. I don't consider myself Democrat or Republican. I am more liberal leaning, I suppose, but I am honestly just learning a lot, and it's dire and it's heavy. But yeah, this the verse I wrote.
Anabolic beat.
Excuse me, can I speak? Well, it seems we got a problem, like a conflict of interest. The chief in command is bonkers, but I'm minding my business. He claims we hired for race, but then he fired the illest. Now we got 2 planes down, and he started pretending that the people he decided to fire, they would never qualify. Little to no diversity, but we gon' get a lot of lies. Cause before him, it was 15 years that nobody died. Mag about to hate me, I'm outnumbered, and it's not alright. I'm seeing glimpses of the past and the future, about the match. Same drill, then let's send him to Chirac. Even the math changing shit with ice insanity. That ain't a global woman bar. They losing their family. I don't like people, but fucking love me humanity. Common decency ain't very common. Now it's a rarity. Inauguration day was confusing. I mean, Jesus, he done brought 2 Bibles and ain't put his hand on me, but they be gaslighting. Racism ain't on the spectrum. Elon treating us like peons. It's all go on like Celine Dion. Relax, don't get me wrong. Facts are probably illegal now. I downloaded DeepSeek just to ask what the beef about. I don't rap blue or red, cause I'm no blood or crip, and I'm no anarchist either, but that might have a lower voice. They calling each other stupid, refusing to coexist, but I go back to minding my business, doing some dope shit. Feel me? DAPHYA. I never cared about politics until I was forced to care about politics, so I care a little bit. Alright, so now y'all heard a little bit of music. Let's talk about music. I'm not even going to get into the Grammys because I didn't see the Grammys. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have not watched the Grammys yet. However, I am obviously aware of what everybody else is aware of. And let me tell you how I became aware of the fact that Kendrick Lamar swept the Grammys. If you started following me based on the reaction to his music video of Not Like Us, yeah. So my TikTok, I took clips of that reaction video and I put them on Instagram and I put them on TikTok. And the one on TikTok, one of them specifically, is going super crazy. But then it died down a little bit. I was still getting likes on it. It has like, you know what? I'm going to open the app and I'm going to give numbers this week.
Honestly,
don't stop. Oh, look, I have 388 likes right now. And let me see why. They not like us. They not like us. Oh, this is actually...
What's the password?
Yeah. So it's the clip of the reaction I did to his music video that's getting a lot of traction again. And I was like, oh, he did something. Because if my video's picking back up and it's about him, he did something. So it turns out he won 5 Grammys. And the whole audience of the Grammy award show ceremony was actually singing A minor when he went up and he collected his award for Best Song of the Year, beating Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather, We Should Stick Together. Wow. So that struck a curiosity in me. And I said, let me just Google Kendrick Lamar Grammy, and I'm going to do Drake Grammy as well. So actually, what I did was I Googled Drake Grammy first. But because of my findings, I'm going to read to you Kendrick's first because it's just funnier that way, to be perfectly honest. So Kendrick, when I Googled him for Grammys, it says, Kendrick Lamar has won 22 Grammy Awards. This makes him the 3rd rapper to win the most Grammys. Explanation: Lamar has also won a Primetime Emmy Award, 4 American Music Awards, 6 Billboard Music Awards, and 11 MTV Awards. He has also won 37 BET Hip Hop Awards, which is the most of any artist. In 2016, Time named Lamar one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Lamar's concert tours, Damn Tour 2017-2018, and Big Steppers Tour 2022 to 2024 are among the highest grossing rap tours in history. That's what I read. That's what I read for Kendrick. So then I Googled Drake Grammys. That's it. I just put Drake Grammys. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. And Drake said, Drake has won 5 Grammy Awards out of 51 nominations. Why y'all had to do that? Why? Like, what? Like, I'm going to go back into my reaction bag and be like, yo, that's not nice. Not everybody. Not even Google. Everybody. I got to go back into that bag. Because I genuinely feel bad for my boy. Yo, he has a new project dropping with Party Next Door, too, this weekend. So I'm going to give that a listen. But yeah, he's going through it. That wasn't it, though. I'll read the rest, just to be fair. So it's not as long as Kendrick. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, so it says Drake has won 5 Grammy Awards out of 51 nominations. Explanation. Drake has won 5 Grammy Awards out of 51 nominations. So they just repeated the same sentence again. That's not a typo. That's exactly how it says it on Google. They didn't repeat shit for Kendrick. You just heard me. In 2022, Drake was nominated for 2 awards, but his management asked the Academy to remove the nominations. The Recording Academy has favored Kendrick Lamar over Drake, who has only won 5 times. Bro, you cannot make this shit up, bro. The whole system, Google, is against Drake. Like, not only did they rub it in, like, yeah, he was nominated 51 times, but he only won 5. They even put Kendrick Lamar's name on it and said that they favor him, which obviously Drake knows because he said, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody hand him a Grammy right now. So he knew, he knew, but damn. And then Kendrick got the album named. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, man. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. So I am aware. Congratulations to Kendrick Lamar. Well deserved. I feel like Birds of a Feather, I really thought was going to win. Billie Eilish has been sweeping Grammys since she was 16, though, so I'm sure she was fine. I did hear that Beyonce won Best Country Album for Cowboy Carter, and that's great because she got super snubbed. I'm gonna do the air quotes, but she got super snubbed at the American Country Awards, I believe it is, AMAs, American Music Award. No, it's just saying country in it. The country music one though, like the country Grammys, she didn't get one. And there was a lot of speculation and there was a lot of talk that it was, there's based in racism or whatever, or DEI as Trump will call it, whatever you want to say, whatever, however you want to phrase it, right? So she didn't get that. As far as I said, I was gonna talk about Trump, and then I had talked a little bit about Trump, but I was gonna talk about some plane crashes that happened. Rest in peace to the people who passed away from the 2 plane crashes that took place. One was a commercial flight that ran into, I believe it's like an Air Force jet, but that one had over 65 casualties, if I'm not mistaken. But then there was another crash in Philadelphia, and it was smaller. It was a small plane. It wasn't a commercial flight. But before the first airplane crash, which I mentioned in my verse, it had been 15 years since a commercial flight had gotten into an accident. I think it's just commercial. I don't think it's like any. But then they had 2 plane crashes, like, back to back that way. And it turns out that air traffic controllers were recently fired because if you don't know, Trump has been taking a lot of cutbacks. He is pushing government employees to quit their jobs, offering them a certain severance pay. If not, they can come back to work. These are for the remote workers, by the way. But they can come back to work, but their job won't be guaranteed, is what they're saying. So essentially, they're saying, like, take the money or get fired with nothing. So those are your options. But aside from that, people are not talking about the other people. And it turns out that air traffic controllers were also let go. And on the day of both these plane crashes, there was one air traffic controller when there typically is two to do the job. So the first thing that Trump said was this all had to do with DEI, which I think is hilarious that he's really dying on that hill of he's DIEing on that DEI hill, because when he first ran for president, he had no political experience whatsoever. So he is exactly who he's talking about. And then his whole, like, I don't know what you call him, like, but his whole first row at his inauguration, and he's given them actual government spots. I mean, Elon Musk has his own team, Doge, and no political experience at all either. But I understand. I can't act like I don't understand anything about what he's doing. These are all business people. And his whole stance is he's been a businessman his entire life. And he wants to run the country like a business. And apparently, a lot of people agree. I cannot root against this man. This man is in charge of all of our lives. Essentially. I am hoping that all of these terrible optics are wrong. I just genuinely don't think so. And the facts are the facts. Like, people are losing their jobs because he is firing them. He, right out of his mouth, said he hates overtime. He doesn't want to pay anyone overtime. He doesn't believe in overtime. He's made a lot of comments, and I had a personal conversation with someone. I had a few conversations with Republicans, because it turns out a lot of my friends are Republican, a lot of my rapper friends, and all male. I think a lot of men are. That's what was reflected in the polls. A lot of men voted for Trump. Makes sense, but when I had this conversation, what he said was that his favorite thing about Trump, which I think this aligns with most people who like Trump, is that he doesn't hide anything. So he's doing his dirt and it's out in the open. He's literally a felon. He was impeached during his first term, right at the end though. But he's, been accused of sexual assault, like all of these things. But his whole stance was, at least he does it in our face. He doesn't do like the Democrats who did all this dirty stuff behind the scenes. But if they did it behind the scenes, you don't necessarily know that they did whatever you think they did. But also, if somebody does something to your face, doesn't make it that much better. My reply to him was actually like, if somebody steals from me, it doesn't make it any better that they rob me to my face. But people have different views, and we have to respect them. Nah, I know there's mad people out there like, no, the fuck we don't. You know who's saying no the fuck we don't? Jessie Woo. Shout out Jessie Woo. She be standing on business and she say shit with her chest. I don't know enough, so I don't feel comfortable choosing a hill to die on. But I can speak on specific things that I feel are wrong. Cutting the Department of Education seems pretty fucking wrong. Like, why are we defunding all these necessary kind programs? It seems like any program that's there to help people, Trump is just killing. And I don't understand that. If you want to do an evaluation, as you say, and just make sure that the funds are being directed properly to the right places and allocated properly. Is that the word? Allocated? Yeah, allocated. Alligators never die. Yo, shout out Doechii. She won a Grammy too. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I was really excited to hear Doechii won. That's rap album. But anyway, that the funds are being allocated properly. Why do we have to cut all the funding in order to do that? Like, maybe there's something I don't know on the business side. Maybe you do have to shut the whole entire business down just to count and do inventory or whatever. When my company that I worked for, back when I worked in the retail stores, we had inventory and the store was still functioning. There were still customers shopping while we were doing inventory. Obviously, the number's not going to be 100% precise because people are buying and returning items that would have been counted. But the number's never going to be precise anyway because human error. That's just a fact. Now, if you want to debate against that, go ahead, fight with yourself, because I'm not. Because humans make mistakes all the time, period. And that's okay. Unless you're applying for a job and Trump is there, because then he's gonna be like, no, DEI, you gotta be the perfect white person. Oh, I'm sorry, the perfect candidate. Which don't make sense because you're firing people who know what they're doing to hire people you think know what like whatever. But I'm not gonna. It doesn't matter. It matters a lot actually. Let me not say that. But yeah, I mean it's not where I was intending to go with that conversation. But I wonder why I had this in here. I think I wrote this. I wrote "never look back" in quotes. And then I wrote some things I felt about that phrase. And I think it's because I think it's still related to the political stuff. And I did notice that a lot of the Republican side or the MAGA side is very headstrong on making all these changes abruptly. And then when facts of history, when anyone actually recalls times in history where we did something similar and how it panned out so that we learn from our mistakes and learn from our experience, they are refusing to listen to it. They're refusing to accept it. They're refusing to acknowledge it at all. And I think it's weird because hindsight is 2020. That's a cliche quote that has been around forever. And what I always say is that cliches exist for a reason. And I feel like that's something that you don't fully learn until you get older. It's something that you learn with age. You start realizing all these cliche sayings were dead on. And it had you taken them more seriously, you might have done some things differently in your life. So I think history is also important because you notice the patterns. You know, pattern recognition is so important. And I think that's something that anybody educated would agree with, because the whole thing about humans that differentiates us from most animals is our foresight. Most animals don't have that. I think we are, I'm not sure, I could be mistaken, but I think we're the only animals with foresight. Animals don't assume things are going to happen. Or if they do, it's very few. I'm really trying to think, because I'm like, my cat is super smart though. My cat be knowing. And obviously conditional, I'm thinking conditional therapy, but I'm thinking operative conditioning. But yeah, like, there's definitely signs where they can tell. But even that is a sign of intelligence, is being able to spot patterns to foresee something coming. And that's what history is all about. I mean, literally, The 48 Laws of Power is a book, bestseller, phenomenally, is still doing phenomenally to this day. Partially due to me listening to the audiobook constantly, but never enforcing anything. Listening, why? So that I can notice patterns. So that I can pick up when these tactics are being used on or against me. And it's very important. But if we don't want to pay attention to history, then we're bound to recreate some of it, at least. Maybe not exactly, but definitely some. And I didn't want to make this pod as long as the last one, so I'm not gonna drag out with that. I wish I had something more profound to end with, but I don't. I guess if you want to sum everything up, and just granted, I'm gonna tell you right now, like I said, very well deserved. Kendrick winning all these awards, and he's gonna be doing the Super Bowl, which obviously he will also be performing, not like us. Trump being Trump. It seems like we are in a season where we celebrate bullying. It feels like a season where I don't belong. It feels like a season where the underdogs are being kept down. Now, this is not to say that the opposing sides are completely innocent, because I don't believe that. Was it before? I don't know if it was before he had beef with Kendrick, but I literally said on my pod, like, I know Drake is not a good guy. Do I actually know that? No, because I don't know Drake. But that is how I perceive them. I don't know if he deserves all this though. It's getting crazy, bro. He got a lawsuit too. He's suing the record label because he believes that they helped Kendrick push this certain agenda and slander about him being PDFI. PDFI is a word that's being thrown around a lot too, because a PDFI technically is someone sexually attracted to prepubescent children. So even if Drake was running around having sex with a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds, they already went through puberty. It's still nasty and illegal, and I hate it, and it should never happen, obviously. But even like the terminology behind it, so now they just call everybody PDFI, and it's disturbing to hear that term thrown around so often, because I feel like it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But we'll see. Apparently, there are certain people that are now under fire in Kendrick's camp at well, I don't know. He parted ways with them though, didn't he? But Top Dog has someone there. I'm not sure his name, but he's someone on the team of Top Dog, and he has a case against him for some sexual assault. So the reason why I have a clothing brand. I'm rocking it right now. Better vibes. But this is from my Firephonics collection. It's just terms that I say. But I have multiple collections, and one of them is Good Men Exist. And the reason I made that collection was because we have so many bad men on the media being pushed in our faces. The Diddies, the Drakes, the Kendrick when he's bullying, like even that, like I know Kendrick is not like, Kendrick is doing everything with his art. Like, I really don't. I say bully just to bring attention to how hurt Drake must be. Dad, he gotta be crying. I'm so sorry. He gotta be. Drake, it's gonna be okay, all right? You're so rich. And you're good looking. And you're funny. You have a lot going for you. But anyway, Drake will be fine. You're gonna be alright, is what I'm saying. But yeah, it's like ever since not ever since, even before that, but I'm saying also Harvey Weinstein, when we had the whole Me Too era and we were finding out that James Franco was a fucking creep too. Like, I loved James Franco. And then I found out that he was, like sexually, not assaulting, but he was pushing himself sexually on his female students at a class that he taught in NYU or something, like sexual advances. I don't know that he did anything past that, but it's still just, it's always that for the most part. We don't hear too many happy stories. We don't hear a lot of good news in general. So the collection for Good Men Exist is just to keep that hope alive and know that good men do exist. And I happen to know a few, and I'm blessed for that. I happen to grow up with a few, and I'm blessed for that, but that's the whole reason that collection exists. Because, yeah, this can't be it. But I will be back next week with another pod. And I hope you all. I'm gonna stay away from politics, to be honest. Like, I'm gonna lay low now, because I really have been drowning in this shit. Like, because I wanted to learn, because I wanted to know, I wanted to be able to reply to someone with confidence if they bring up the USAID, if they bring up the Board of Education, if they bring up the student loans no longer being available and the certain federal grants. I wanted to be knowledgeable enough to at least absorb what they say, whether they be on the opposing team or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I can't do that if I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm gonna be like, what is USA? Like, no, at least, okay, tell me your thoughts on USA, because I know what USAID is now. You feel me? Like, so I've been drowning in it, but yeah, it's a little bit sad, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it that much, because we still got 4 years. This is only 2 weeks. Like, by the time 4 years come, I'm gonna be like Obama. He was the actual president, but you saw when he went into the White House, he had no gray hair. As soon as he left, he was all white. Like, that's where I'm headed. That's where I'm headed. And it's only 2 weeks. That's where I'm headed. And I'm not even the president. Yo, one thing, I said this to my Republican friend too. I said one thing about Trump. He hit the ground running, and he is everywhere. Like, he is outside. And it looks stressful. I don't understand why people want to be outside so much. And yeah, it's almost like, this is what I told him too. I was like, even though I feel like he's a little bit evil, it's almost like he's kind of earning the right to be evil, because he's working so hard to be evil. Like, you really gotta want to be evil, and you to do this and go everywhere and talk to everybody and sign all the stuff with the giant markers. Why do they sign? What are they signing with? Sharpies? Like, what is that? Anyway, but yeah. So take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. Don't get too wrapped up in all of this. Everything is gonna be okay. I promise. Kind of. No. Everything is. I gotta do my next episode. I gotta touch on toxic positivity. I don't want to get into it now, but that's why I hesitate when I say everything's gonna be okay, because everything is not always gonna be okay. That's just facts. But keep your eyes open. Take your breaks when you need to, whether it be from social media, these news sources, people. Distance yourself from people if you have to. Like, I'm surrounded by a lot of Republicans. Like I said, if I need to take a break, I'll open your message in an hour. You feel me? Like, I'll get back to you, but I need to not be triggered or upset or whatever the case may be by whatever is coming my way. Luckily, like, besides the one friend that I talked to, he kind of pushes stuff on me sometimes. Still love you, bro, but but most of my Republican acquaintances don't just attack me and bombard me with MAGA stuff. So, but if you do have that in your life, if your family, is an opposing party or anything like that, like, feel free to take a break, take a step back, take a breather, take care of yourself above all, okay? Because the routines and the things that you have built up until this point are still there. The responsibilities are still there. The rewards, everything you've worked for, your entire life. It's still there. You can't think everything just went dark because you don't like the state of the government at this point. So that's what I mean. So maybe everything won't be okay, but guess what? It probably will. You're probably going to be okay. I think the odds are in your favor. I think the odds are in our favor. I think I put good above all, and I just genuinely believe that. Is it guaranteed? No, I can't. I'm not going to be the one to lie to you. If I lie to you, I wouldn't be the voice you could trust, which you can't even read my sign because it's blurry in the background, and I hate that. But that's why I call myself that. I want to be that. I want to live up to that name. So anyway, thank you for listening. Obviously, merch available on DAPHYA.com, DAPHYA. I did drop a new collection last week. It's called the Dose of Distance collection. So, and it's basically everything I just said to you. If you need to give people some space for yourself and your own well-being, please do so. I also, with that collection, released my first notebook with the Dose of Distance, and I just dropped a jacket and added it to the collection as well. So check it out if you have time. And I will be here again next Thursday at the third pod. Onesies. Oh, wait. And don't forget, because I had already kind of said it, but don't forget, I am the voice you can trust. Onesies.